Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Thomas of the Sales Tax Sisters and Thomas and Thomas PC, here today to give you your weekly tax tip. Today's tip is going to be about common pitfalls that online sellers fall into when it comes to sales and use tax compliance. So let's get started with one of the first things that if you are an online seller you have to be aware of. Don't ignore sales and use tax compliance. It's one thing to have a business and be happy about it and just think you're focused on getting sales and getting this money, but you're not paying attention to sales and use tax. It is always going to be an issue. So just know that when you're making sales, you need to know when you should be charging sales tax. You need to know when you should be charging tax on shipping and handling charges, as well as freight charges. Just know that you have to be aware of your sales and use tax compliance issues. That's the first one. The second one is not paying attention to nexus thresholds. Nexus is, and we have a whole series about it, about when you meet certain thresholds or you have a presence in a jurisdiction. And you can have a presence in a jurisdiction by having employees or a warehouse or physical presence, or if you make enough sales to the residents of a state, that can establish nexus as well. And nexus is an obligation for your business to register to collect sales and use tax. So make sure that if you're making sales and a certain amount of sales, and the thresholds change from state to state, into a jurisdiction, that you may be required to register to collect that jurisdiction's sales and use tax. An example is, if you're in Texas, because I'm in Texas, if you're in Texas and you have a physical location, and you're making sales of cookies, okay, we're gonna have cookies because it's lunchtime when I'm shooting this. So you have sales of cookies. I know that if I am a baker here in Texas, I have a physical location here in Texas that I need to register in Texas to collect sales and use tax. Texas sales and use tax on all taxable sales. Simple. But what if I start making sales into Louisiana, into Oklahoma, into New York? Well, depending on how many sales I make into those jurisdictions, I may need to register to collect that jurisdiction's sales and use tax. So just be aware that nexus is important, and as your business grows, you may have to register in other jurisdictions. The other thing is, sometimes people are too aggressive as it relates to exemptions. I've mentioned in previous videos that a lot of jurisdictions give exemptions to manufacturers in order to attract businesses to the area. Well, just because you're a manufacturer, for example, and there are exemptions available, it does not mean that everything that you buy is exempt from sales and use tax. Exemptions are very narrowly construed, so it's important that, one, you understand if the exemption is applicable and that it has to fit the scenario that you're going into. You have to be aware that, just because you are a manufacturer doesn't mean that you get a hand tool tax-free. Okay? All right. Now, that's number 3. Number 4 is when online businesses don't charge the correct tax. And it can be an easy thing to do, because laws change sometimes and tax rates change sometimes. But it's important for business owners and their advisors to be aware of those changes. So going forward, the company charges the correct tax. Because if you're ever audited and you didn't charge the correct tax, they're going to assess it. And the other thing is, and I mentioned this, but I want to mention it again. Sales and use tax laws change. Policy changes. You have to be aware of what applies to you and your business, and in order to make sure that you are in compliance with all the sales and use tax laws that are applicable for you and your business. And those are the 5 things. I hope that wasn't too much. Those are the 5 things that online sellers need to be aware of as it relates to sales and use tax compliance. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please thumb it up and like it. Also share. And we love comments. I mean, it's nice to have comments, people. So please reach out. And I think that's it for the day. Have a good one, everybody.